to be quite as funny. But I want to talk about ghosts. And I don't mean like ghosts in the chain-rattling booga-booga sense. I mean digital ghosts, which I've been seeing a lot of recently. There we go. So last year, my friend Billy died. He was mostly an online friend, not really a close personal friend, but still sad. And a few weeks ago, I was on Facebook, and it informed me that today was Billy's birthday. So out of a sort of, I guess, morbid curiosity, I went onto his profile. And I was surprised to see that it was still active. People were still talking to Billy. They were wishing him a happy birthday and telling him that they missed him. And, putting YouTube videos of songs he liked and links to political articles he might have enjoyed, right? The strangest thing was his cousin put a post up praying to Billy to help her daughter who'd been diagnosed with cancer. It's kind of creepy, right? But it's also kind of like sweet. It reminded me in some sense of the Shinto tradition, where, as I understand it, basically when you die, you become a household god, right? And your family can pray to you, and you sort of hang around protecting them. Or the Dia de los Muertos festival, where people leave, like food and drink and things for their loved ones at their graves in return for their blessings and good fortune, and that sort of thing, right? And I realized, in some sense, Billy's Facebook profile had become a shrine, and he had become to those people sort of like a household god, right? Now, I started thinking about this in terms of geolocation, because I'm building a geolocation app, and that's pretty much all I think about right now. And if you're not familiar, geolocation is the idea that you can take data and you can actually attach it to real-world physical coordinates. One example being, geotagging your tweets or Foursquare check-ins, right? These are examples of geolocation. And it all kind of falls under the blanket category of what we refer to as augmented reality, which covers a bunch of different things, but one of the things that it basically is that you can overlay a virtual landscape of information onto the real world, kind of like a floating world above real world places, right? And this is all pretty new technology. Geolocation is extremely new. The whole notion of live streaming is extremely new, right? The idea that we're basically tweeting and Facebooking and blogging and checking in on Foursquare to everything, and basically documenting our entire lives. But it's going to go on. It's going to keep going on. People are going to keep doing this. More and more data is going to be geotagged. More and more of the information that you leave is going to be attached to places. And in 10 years, in 20 years, in 50 years, the world is going to be filled with these little fragments of digital memory of things that people have done in the places that you go through, right? I think that for our descendants, maybe our kids and our grandkids, the world is literally going to be full of this. Everywhere you go, every place within the sphere of human influence is going to be filled with these memories and these things that people have done. And most of it's going to be banal, right? Most of it's going to be like, yeah, I got fucked up at the Griffin last night, what's up? But not all of it. Some of it is going to be very meaningful. Some of it is going to actually really affect the way that you interact with the places that you live in, and the way that you perceive the world around you. Some of these things are not going to be that cute and funny. They're going to be ghosts everywhere. You wonder about the stories that you find. You already see this in Twitter, but in this case, it'll be even more prevalent. The stories that you see of the world around you. Some guy just got shot in front of the check cashing place here. How does that change the way that you interact with the world that you move through? And that's the question. I don't really have an answer. But I think that as time goes on, we're going to have a different notion of what the past is, what history is. We're not going to see everybody as being gone, the people who have left before us. They are in some sense still going to be present. They're going to be digital ghosts, and they're going to be everywhere. Now that may sound morbid. It does sound morbid. But I don't think it necessarily is. I think that it's like these shrines. I'm sure everybody's seen these on the street where somebody has died. You're going to be able to see everyone you love. Everything they've left behind will always be there. We're recording everything now. It will always be there. It will never stop. And it'll remind us ultimately that though everybody leaves, everyone goes, everything changes, that absolutely nothing really is truly lost. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.